Assalamu alaikum. Hi, Oracle Reiki Spiritual Healer. And I have been talking on the points of reinventing ourselves. And I was able to reinvent myself several times. I have already told you I have been, restaurant managers, hotel managers. I have been chefs. I have been computer techs. I have been caregivers. I have been a candy lady. So I've been able to reinvent myself and apply my skills to different places in my life by the grace of God. And again, everything that I touch, God bless. So one of my issues were, I wanted somebody from my family to come with me, one of my friends, somebody that I knew from, my hometown, Georgia, from somebody that I knew, that I had, wanted to invest in, that I wanted to understand that God was with us. But they could not understand that because they couldn't go with me on this journey, because I later found out God was with me, because they wasn't actually believing the way that I believed, and to put my faith to invest, to reinvent myself, to have God reinvent me in order to serve a common purpose in the community, in order to serve a common purpose in the family, in order to help guide people in their life, to give them the best advice, spiritually, physically. So, these types of things that I were able to do, and I understood at that time that, this is what harmed a lot of the adventures that I had, the invents that I had, the advents that I had, because I wanted to take, those husbands with me. I wanted to take those sisters or brothers, I wanted them to go, those friends that I had been invested in, those people, my nephews, people from my family. I wanted to take them with me, and I could not take them with me. And I was trying to, make them see that God is with us, that God is blessing this situation. But it wasn't, he wasn't blessing the situation. He was blessing me. God was blessing me because they didn't believe. They didn't have faith of a mustard seed. They didn't have any kind of input to the situation. They were only takers. They were only takers from the situation. So, I was actually pouring into empty wells, because I just wanted that kind of support. And that type of people pleasing, it really stagnates you. It really harms you in life. It really gives you this identity crisis, that, man, you mean to tell me I can't trust anybody? That I don't have anybody, in my life? And then you start taking back your hand. You start, okay, well, you can go on about your business. You can go on to Louisiana. I got this. You can, go on and go out there in the street and be a drunkard, be on drugs. You can do whatever you want to do. You can go and be two-faced, for those family members who became two-faced, who was on my side, in order to grow, in order to receive, the blessings that I could bless them with. But then soon as other family members came back around, they would turn back to who they were. So those two-faced people, those people who I just could not take with me, any of them. And one by one, God showed me why they could not go on this journey with me, because they did not believe. They did not have the faith that I had in God. And last but not least, God was not blessing them. He was blessing me. And they were trying to siphon that energy and take those gifts and step in and control me so that they could have their way in my life. So when I stopped people pleasing in my life, in order to get the support, in order to get the love, in order to get people to invest in me, I started to reinvest in myself. And, and God changed me every time that he showed me a family member, every time that he showed me a friend, every time he showed me a husband, he would reinvent me into something that I didn't know I could do. Yeah. So I'm here right now with this same attitude that, I've left all the baggage and all the dead weight behind me. I'm not looking back. I've been getting calls from, people back home. I get calls from them, and they're trying to figure out, what I'm doing and what happened and what went on, and the only thing, I'm not giving them any information except for I love. Something that they already know. I just simply love. But the real fact of the matter is, each and every person that wanted to take control of my gifts, they forgot about what they're supposed to be doing because a lot of them did not have anything to do. They didn't have anything to invest in. They were not reinventing themselves. God was not reinventing, their skills, reapplying their skills in life. They were stuck and stagnant. So, I've gotten, 2 calls. I got 2 calls from back home. And everybody want to know how I'm doing. And, I'm doing great. I could go get me a hotel. I don't want to, though. I would rather, just stay here with the chosen one, children, young people. I'm not going to call them children because they've been telling me stuff that I didn't know. The chosen one, young people, and, help them, give them those survival tips. Maybe, this is what God had for me before he moves me into my position, before he repositions me in life. So a lot of people do not like this type of understanding, this type of humbleness, this type of humility, and you have to be able to have this type of humility in order to move forward, in order to be able to teach. I don't think that I'm the best person. And it's like I started off saying, I don't think I'm the best person. I think that I have good character. So when you have good character, then you know how to treat people. But you also know how to spot those people when God is saying no to you. You can't move forward with those people, whether it's a husband, a child, whether it's people in society trying to use you, whether it's people that's in society that has been inserted in your life trying to stagnate you. And we are getting into this week because I got a lot lined up for you, on this topic. A lot of people who have been taken away from their profession, and they're finding out that they have reclassified your profession. And we're going to get into it because I don't think that you go to school for all those years and you can't, reinvent yourself. And maybe I was sent here to tell you that. Maybe I was sent here to, give you that uplifting understanding that you can always reclassify your gifts and do something different, male or females. Now, for you males that, always want to throw around, the money that you make, and we wouldn't be talking about this, and I wouldn't be saying it if you wouldn't be throwing around your money, because a lot of the chosen one men, they don't have to throw around, how much they make, because they are automatically self-confident and they know that they are skilled. You understand? Now, this is where we have to go with those $40,000 men that doesn't have those self-confidence. That's the reason why they're throwing that part around. So, as a manager, I got paid to, pay people their salary, their hourly wage or whatever. So if you divide $40,000 by 52 weeks in a year, then you're roughly getting paid a little bit under $800, and that is before taxes. I say about $796 or something like that, $769, something like that, in that range. So you're going to have to make sure that you are understanding how to reinvent yourself, because you cannot afford to fall into a depression, men or women. If you're making $40,000 a year and you have to reinvent yourself right now in real time, but before, June 25th, then what I want you to understand is some of those people on that $40,000 that you're making right now cannot go with you. Some of those family members are not going to be able to go with you. Some of those people, those things that you were doing in your life, if you want to be looked at as not a high value man, because we don't really care about if you're a high value. If you a valuable asset to the family, to the community. If we want to, just talk about these things when you're reinventing yourself with what you have, the resources that you have. This goes for male or female. These females are actually able to move forward without the depression. So, I have to talk to a lot of men in this area, because, we know that you get, bummed out really quick when things change. You don't like change. You like things to be the same. A lot of women who stuck in their ways don't like change. So I was there one day. I was there at one time in the same way. You guys have to be able to reinvent yourself. Use the resources that you have. Take the cutbacks. Be humble. Be humble to each other. And so you need to understand, your limitations, what you can and cannot do. A lot of the partying and all of that is cut out. The holidays has been cut out for our people. So that means that you also have to, reassert yourself and reapply your skills in different areas in your life in order to make that money for you, in order to make it work for your household, your life patterns, your skills, your cycles in the home life. If you want to be able to keep that person in your life, then you're going to have to let them know, I'm working on this right now. Things aren't, moving well. You got a chance. You can either go and pursue somebody else, or we can do this together. In a marriage, I know many people in a marriage, when the tough get going, when you're not able to support him anymore, and you start reinventing yourself, you start applying those skills to yourself, and you start growing in your business, there are a lot of men, there are also a lot of women who don't want to see that, because you can attract something else besides them. They will try to harm that. They will try to tear it down. So this is where you have to be secure in yourself. You can reinvent yourself, and I'm going to give you the scriptures a little bit later on in order for you to do that. I hope you received this message. Please like, share, and subscribe to me. Book your one-on-one sessions with me so I can acclimate a gift to your situation. You can book your life coaching sessions or your video chat sessions. Leave a comment for me. Donate to my channel. I'm High Oracle Reiki Spiritual Healer. Assalamu alaikum.